Hey, songwriter, have you ever wondered if you were on the right path or if you were making the right decisions on your songwriting path? Well, today I'm going to talk about how to live your best songwriting life. I'm Kayla Moore. I'm an indie singer-songwriter, author of Your Path to Songwriting Success, 7 Steps to Becoming a Confident Songwriter, and the Songwriting and Law of Attraction coach. So we're going to talk about how to live your best songwriting life by 1, enjoying the journey, and 2, following your intuition. So let me start by telling you about a dream I had. I have a lot of dreams that give me guidance and just words of inspiration that help me along my journey of life. And one of those dreams was a quote that said, "The journey is the quest." And at first I was like, what in the world kind of message is that? But then I thought about it. I did a little research on what is a journey and what is a quest. I'm going to let you know what the definitions are that I found. Journey is an act of traveling from one place to another, and quest is the act or an instance of looking for or seeking or to search. Okay, so my translation of the journey is the quest is that no matter what your goal is, the most important thing, the thing that matters the most, is your journey towards the goal. And the reason is because every time you reach a goal, you have a new perspective and you end up wanting to have another goal and another goal because essentially you're eternal. You have an eternal spirit. You never get it wrong. You never get it done. And you always keep having goals. And the goals pull you along your journey. So they work together. But the most important thing is the journey. It's the experience you have as you get from that one point to the next point. That's what life is all about. It's all about that journey, the learning experience, and everything that comes along with it. To enjoy the journey is to live more and more in the present moment. Now, yes, of course, you can look back on the past and think about all the lessons you've learned from all your experiences. You can look back on the past and forgive people and forgive yourself for certain things. You can look back on the past and change your perspective of the past, which makes your present more pleasant. But don't dwell in the past. Take your lessons and move forward. Try not to ruminate on things that are negative that have happened to you. I have had issues with rumination, so I understand all about that. Rumination and anxiety about the past or even about the future. Try to be as present as possible and enjoy your journey as much as possible because life is so short and we don't want to waste our life and our energy on thinking about things from the past that we can't control, that we can't change. You can change your perspective of it, but you can't go back and change what happened. Even if something happened to you today that you felt was negative, try your best to let it go, okay? Um, Mental health for songwriters, I think, and musicians and artists, I think is very important because we deal with experiences that are different from the average person. We deal with feeling like an imposter. They call that imposter syndrome when we don't feel good enough to achieve our goals. We deal with people criticizing our art. We deal with, lots of comments, whether positive or negative. We deal with a lot of feedback for the art that comes out of us. And when it's negative, it can hurt so badly and it can cut so deeply that we need some help sometimes. We end up becoming depressed or we ruminate or things like that. It's important to seek help when you catch yourself going down into a negative spiral. And what has helped me is to speak to someone who I know and trust, who knows me and can give good advice, who can see the bigger picture, because I can't sometimes when I'm right in the middle of an issue, I can't take that step back and see the big issue. I mean, the big picture, but someone near and dear to me might be able to do that and give me a new perspective. I also use YouTube videos to help me. There are really good experts on YouTube that can help you with your mental health. Of course, there are counselors and therapists that you can seek to get some help with any mental issues. Rumination is a big one for me, as I mentioned before. And the way I get over rumination and things like that is that I try to live more in the present, right? One thing that I do is I have an alarm on my phone that I set for to go off several times a day. And that alarm is to remind me to reconnect to the present moment. So whatever I'm doing, if I'm working on something or my mind might be caught up with something, that alarm says reconnect. And I stop in that moment, take a deep breath, and I look around at things in the room. I become present. I use my five senses: hearing, sight, touch, taste, and smell to bring myself back to this moment. And then I go back to what I was doing. Or I snap out of the negative spiral that I might have been in. But it definitely helps to take a pause, stop and smell the roses, as people say. That's really important, to be present with what's going on. Another way to help yourself be present is to pay attention to what people are telling you and listen to them when they talk to you. A lot of times we want to interrupt people because we're thinking about something that can be an answer to what they're saying, or we have a story that's similar to theirs and we want to get our story out too. Whatever the case is, we should learn to be more present and listen when people are talking or sharing their stories. And by practicing that, you become more present in the moment. You can actually hear people better and understand what they're saying better. And if you don't, you can always ask them questions to get some clarification, because you were actually present and you actually paid attention to what they were saying. So that's really important, and it's a good way to practice being present and in the moment. Another tip to be present and in the moment is to meditate. I meditate every single morning for about 15 minutes. I've made it a habit. There was one year where I announced to my family, to my husband, my daughter, that for 15 minutes every morning, I'm going to meditate and you cannot interrupt me. And they've respected me and they've gotten used to it. And it's just something that I do and they all know it. So that's something you can incorporate into your morning routine or whenever you can fit in that 15 minutes. It's really important. It takes the edge off of any negativity and anxiety throughout the day. You get inspiration during and after meditation. It helps you be more in the moment throughout the day. And you hear more guidance from your spirit guides. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, getting guidance from your spirit guides. Another tip I got from, I believe it was Eckhart Tolle, probably the book Stillness Speaks, or The Power of Now. But anyway, he said something about feeling like, I might be wrong with the exact scenario, but from what I remember, he said, pretend you're a rock or a pebble or something at the bottom of a lake. Now, the top of the lake surface has a lot of waves and a lot of action going on, but you're all the way at the bottom where it's very still and calm. And when you actually imagine that that's you at the bottom of the lake as a rock, and all the action is above you, but you're below the surface, calm and still, that always helps me become more present in the moment, and it helps me get bigger, a clearer perspective of what situation might be going on. It helps me take a step back. That's what I'm trying to say. Another tip is to use the law of attraction, of course. I love to talk about the law of attraction and the law of assumption. And what you can do with that is, what I do is after my morning meditation, I also take a few minutes to visualize what I want on my songwriting journey, right? If I want to win any awards or if I want to complete that song, whatever it is, I have some time in the morning where I visualize it and feel it and assume that I am that person who did that and that it's already done. And then I go about my day with that assumption. And let me tell you the magic that comes from that. It's like a dance and a balance between setting an intention and surrendering to God, to the universe, or whatever you call that omnipotent, omnipresent force, that source energy, whatever you want to call it. It will create circumstances and events in your favor. And you have to believe that everything is rigged in your favor, because it is. And when you believe that, you'll actually recognize that that's true. Whatever you believe is true. So you might as well believe that the universe is rigged in your favor. Okay, you're that powerful. Your mind is that powerful that whatever you believe is true for you in your world. So what happens when you use the law of attraction and you visualize, you assume that it's already done, you go about your business and you watch how things come to you once you're on that wavelength, once you're on that frequency. What you want will come to you. You'll start meeting people. You'll be put in places where things happen for you. You'll get ideas for what you need, whether it's for a song or if it's an idea for a promotion or whatever it is on your songwriting path. It will come to you more easily once you believe that it's already done for you and the universe has your back always. I promise you, you will witness the magic and how things effortlessly come to you once you're aligned with what you want. Check out some of my other videos where I go more in depth with different law of attraction and law of assumption processes. They'll be really helpful for you. So all those tips that I just gave you, they are going to help you be more happy on your songwriting journey and be more aware on your songwriting journey, which is going to lead you to a lot of inspiration from both physical and non-physical. So it's going to be really fun. Next, let's talk about the importance of using your intuition. Okay, now the more present you are, the more you can hear and feel your intuition. Now, everyone has an innate gift of intuition. And what intuition is that gut feeling you have sometimes when you know something is not right, or you know something might be a little off, or it just doesn't feel right in your body, in your gut, right? Now, your gut never lies, so you have to learn how to trust your intuition. This is really helpful on your songwriting journey because you're going to meet a lot of people and you're going to be in a lot of different situations, and you have to be able to discern if it's right for you, okay? So what's right for one person may not be right for you, okay? You have to know yourself. You have to be more connected with your body and how you feel in certain scenarios, and you have to trust it. Now, let me tell you, I have been put in so many situations where I would go against my gut, go against my intuition because I just didn't trust it yet. And I tried to think myself through things and weigh the pros and the cons and make it seem logical and give people a chance to prove themselves to me and let a situation play out to see what'll happen. And a lot of times when I ignore my initial gut feeling about someone or something that's going on, I end up finding out down the road why I had that feeling. The person may not be honest, they may not be nice, they may not have you in their best interest. The situation probably is just not for you. Maybe the people are not ready for you, or maybe you're not ready for them. Whatever it is, that feeling you get, it's telling you that you're not in alignment with what you want. That's pretty much what it is. It's not necessarily saying something is right or wrong. It's saying that it is not the right way to go for you right now. Okay? It's so important for you to trust your gut. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You can be like I was and weigh the pros and the cons and go against your gut feeling and just see what happens. And you learn to trust your gut. You have an inner guidance, whether it's God, whether it's your inner being, your higher self, that's there to help you and to guide you along your path so that you can live your best songwriting life. Okay? Now, when you go against your intuition or your gut feeling, you learn lessons. So there's nothing bad about it because you're going to learn. And I don't believe in failure, right? If something goes wrong in your mind and you've learned from it, it is not a failure. It's a success in learning something new. Okay, that's what life is all about. It's about experience, it's about living life. Now, I wouldn't be able to come here and talk to you about all these things if I didn't live life myself and go through a lot of stuff. And I just want to say something quickly to all the women who are in the music industry listening to this. Um, you definitely have to go with your intuition for a lot of things, okay? There are predators that may try to take advantage of you in the studio or wherever you may be. You have to, there are people who just don't have your best interest. So whether you're feeling threatened physically or you have a contract that you need to sign and you're not sure of what it says, you don't understand what it says completely, or something in it is not sitting right with you, whatever the case is, you have to take care of you. You have to set your boundaries and respect your own boundaries and make sure other people respect your boundaries too. That's so, so important. Have respect for yourself and try not to let anyone take advantage of you. Um, a lot of women go through certain things where men, I don't want to say all men, but some men may look down at women, see them as weaker, but you're not weaker. You're actually very strong and you're getting stronger and you're learning and growing no matter what age you are. You're constantly learning and growing on this continuous life journey. If the vibes ain't right in the studio and you can't bring the vibes up, it's not the right time to record. Okay? Because negative vibes are going to come through in your music. You want to be as positive and high vibe as possible because that's going to come through in your music. Okay? If the studio or wherever does not feel safe, get out as soon as possible. Remember, you're the one who's going to take care of you. Okay? Now, I want to talk about this word I saw on the internet. I think it was Facebook or something that someone posted. The word was cottywomple. Was it cottywomple? Yes, cottywomple. And it had a picture of someone just skipping along with a dog or something like that. And I looked up, what does that word mean? And cottywomple is an English slang defined as to travel in a purposeful manner towards a vague destination. Basically, it means to keep moving forward even when you're not quite sure where you're going. Now, to be honest, sometimes I feel like I'm coddywampling, right? I'm sure we all feel like that sometimes. And, I just need to remember, we need to remember when we feel like we have a vague destination or we feel a little lost on our path or we feel like we can't reach that goal or, whatever the case is, we just need to remember that the universe has our back. Everything is happening for us. And sometimes we feel like we're taking a step back, but our higher self can see that, guess what? You need to take a step back and make a left turn, and you'll be heading in the right direction. Or you need to make a U-turn sometimes. And you don't understand what's going on because you're on the ground, you're doing this mission called life, right? But our higher self can see the bigger picture and can direct us, right? So if you feel like you're losing any sense of direction, just, pray, meditate, and know and trust that you are always on your right path. Whether you're learning a lesson or you're just taking a little slight detour, it's all for your good, okay? And it's making you become that person that has reached that goal, right? So don't be down on yourself if you ever feel lost. It's okay. You're constantly being guided. And to make sure that you just try to enjoy the journey, have as much fun as possible. Don't take things too seriously because at the end of the day, nothing is that serious. I actually had a downloaded message one day. I'm sure you've probably heard me talk about this so many times when I talk about, I felt God's love and all that stuff. Part of the downloaded message was that to take nothing very seriously. Take nothing seriously because this is a sort of game. I can't tell you exactly what the game is right now. I didn't get all that information, but I do understand that this life journey is a sort of game. We need to not take things too seriously. We need to lighten up, have more fun, and enjoy the journey as much as possible because, like that message said in my dream, the journey is the quest. And I've had some recent firsthand experience of being in that happy place, or what Abraham calls the vortex. I was in Trinidad for Carnival this year, and I was just happy and anticipating fun every single day and living in the moment and soaking in all the sounds and sights and smells and tastes and everything. And what I noticed was that surrendering to all that goodness, everything that I wanted was appearing and coming to me without me having to really do anything. People were paying for stuff for me. When I wanted something, someone would just show up with it. It was really, truly magical. There was even someone I wanted to meet on Juve morning, one of my friends who I only knew online, and I wanted to meet her. And I saw her band playing, but I wanted to run and see if she was there. And my sister who was with me was like, no, don't go over there. We're going to miss we're going to miss the Juve band. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to go look for her in her bands where she was playing pan. And I said, let me just surrender. I don't want to get lost. I'm going to stay with my sister in this Juve band. And I let it go. And I said, I know the universe is going to let me meet my friend at some point, right? Lo and behold, just a little while later, I found out that my friend who I was meeting for the first time I met in the Juve band, she wasn't even playing pan with her band. She wanted to play Juve in my band, and we didn't know that each other was in the band. And it just so happened that things like that were happening during the whole trip. because I would surrender. I would say, you know what, if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. And there was even a party I wanted to go to that I wanted to see a lot of artists perform because I didn't book one of those kind of parties for my trip. So the last day of my trip, I was like, oh, this was a great trip and it was wonderful. I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. Like I didn't get to see the performers that I wanted to see. But guess what happened? On the last day, I found out that I had a cousin who owned a hotel in Tobago. And at her hotel, she was having a mini concert with all these soca artists. And she invited me and my family to join that all inclusive fete for free the night before I was leaving Tobago. Now, I couldn't plan it. I couldn't plan it at all. I just went with the flow, and God was like, here, you like that? Have some more. Oh, that felt good to you. Have some more. And that's just how the whole trip went. And it was so enjoyable. And it just made me feel like I could take that whole lesson of intention, setting intention of setting the intention of having a good time and expecting a good time and surrendering to the universe to allow whatever needs to happen because it's going to be for your best good. It's about trusting and having faith. So that was definitely a lesson I learned while I was enjoying my time in Trinidad and Tobago, playing mass, seeing family, dancing, all that kind of stuff. Plus, on top of all of that, let me tell you, now this all leads back to songwriting, okay? So I was so inspired to start back writing soca songs. So you're definitely going to hear more soca music from me. That is part of my culture. My parents are from Trinidad and Tobago. So a lot of my music is, more R&B and soul. And, I do a little children's songs. And I've done a couple of soca songs. But being in Trinidad, I have been so inspired to get back into writing for soca songs. So I said all of that to say, try your best to enjoy your journey, trust the process, trust the universe, trust what's going on, know that you're going to learn all of your lessons in perfect timing, and everything is working out for you. All is well. Whether it looks good, whether it looks bad, it's all good at the end of the day. Thank you so much for spending time with me, for listening to my stories and my tips and the wisdom that I've gained over the years in my life experience. And I hope you learned something from what I had to say, or I hope that you were reminded of some things because we tend to forget the lessons we've learned. We tend to get caught up in a bunch of other stuff. Oh, and be sure to like if you like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of what I have to offer. Hit that bell notification so you can be notified whenever I upload any other videos. And if you're ready to write that song in your heart and you're looking for some guidance from me, definitely click the link down in the description and schedule a free one-on-one discovery call so we can talk about how I might be able to help you. I do one-on-one coaching, and I would love to help you become that confident songwriter that you know you are in your heart. Okay, take care. Happy songwriting. Until next time. Love ya. Bye.